Many of us, there's a bad habit of having screens at your table while you're eating, or even worse, maybe you're just sitting in front of the television, plop the food, the plate on your lap, and away you go. Enjoy yourself some watching of TV and eating at the same time. But it's bad for us, and in fact, it's called zombie eating. We discussed it last week, but I reached out to Judy Gaman, who is a healthy eating expert, and she joins me on the phone from all the way down in Texas this morning. Judy, thanks very much for being here. Zombie eating.
I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you.
Yeah, isn't it? What did you think when you read about this zombie eating story?
Well, I wasn't surprised. Literally, you can go into any restaurant in town, and it's so unfortunate. You can tell people are on date night or they're out with their kids, and everybody's got a screen in front of them. So we're forgetting that we need to enjoy the family meal. I mean, are you still at the dinner table with your family? I hope the answer is yes.
It was always yes. There was an absolute rule. Every dinner, breakfast, everything, we always ate as a family at the dinner table.
I love that. You know, the table is definitely meant for sharing time. And we do a tradition at the table where we say, you know, tell us, you know, your best and we're seeing it happen today. And it's really a great way to connect with each other and really understand each other. But if you're staring at your screen, then you're missing that opportunity to bond. And it's a real issue, and it's affecting so many Americans.
When you say it's affecting people, that's something we should discuss. How is it affecting them? It's obviously a negative thing.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of research that we have to have face-to-face interactions, and there's been some studies that show that when you look at someone on a screen, so say you're going through your social media and you're friending, and that actual 2D facial recognition that you're doing does not activate the brain the way the brain is activated when you're actually in a conversation with someone. When you're sitting there talking with them and you're having real conversation, actually changes the brain, and it actually makes your brain produce hormones that are happy hormones like serotonin. And so when you don't have serotonin, you don't have dopamine, and you're just sitting at your screen all the time, it leads to things like depression. And we don't want depression. We don't want these things. We want to be able to have real relationships, and it all starts right back at the dinner table.
So that's a very good point, because as you were talking, I started thinking about, isn't it funny how we're losing our connection with people? Yet we have more friends in Facebook, social media, etc., than ever before, but yet we're lonelier as people.
Well, that's exactly right, because we're using the word friend too loosely.
Yeah.
And we really need to get away from that and remember that friendships are things that require people to be there for each other, to know about each other, not just what they want to post on. I don't know if you happen to have caught Muhammad Ali's funeral, but George Bush said maybe one of the most profound things. He said, we have to stop comparing ourselves on our worst day to everybody else on their best day. And that's really what happens on social media. And it's a slippery slope. It can be very dangerous.
Okay, so let's try to commit to, at least even when you're going out for dinner, somebody's got to pay that bill. Nothing worse than as a dad paying a bill and everybody's just been on their cell phone and you haven't been able to chit-chat.
Right. It's kind of like you might as well have just gone home, bought takeout, sent everybody to their own rooms. It's the same thing. They're in their own, quote, room. It just happens to be a phone. And there's another thing that I think that we're missing, too, and that's the eye strain. You're having eye strain and you're having strain on the cervical spine when you're always looking down and you're staring at a screen. And we have got to recognize that for our children, and especially our teens, this can be just really devastating. I was actually talking to an orthopedic guy not that long ago who said he's seeing more and more cervical arthritis. That's in the neck.
What?
That he's seen this in kids, college kids.
Wow.
This is something you didn't used to see until people were hitting like 60, 70, 80 years old. So there's a lot to this we need to be paying attention to.
And I'm really happy that you came on the show to talk about this. It was very interesting. Thank you very much for taking time to chat with us, Judy.
Always a pleasure.
Judy Gaman is a healthy eating expert from Texas.